Every day when we tune into the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, our favorite stars dazzle us with glamorous homes, witty banter, and picture-perfect lives. But occasionally, something happens that breaks through the glitz, something so real it forces everyone to stop and look deeper. For years, fans have admired Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky as one of Bravo's golden couples. Yet, behind the designer handbags and red carpet smiles, something fragile was quietly unraveling. What started as whispers about distance and emotional strain soon became one of the most talked about reality TV stories in recent memory. The world saw Kyle holding herself together, poised, strong, professional, while Mauricio seemed increasingly distracted, distant, and weighed down by invisible pressures. Then came the moment that changed everything, when Kyle, during filming, broke down in a way fans had never seen before. What was once another day of housewives drama turned into an incredibly raw, emotional journey, one that exposed the human side of a couple we thought had it all. But what actually happened? Who or what caused Mauricio and Kyle's relationship to crack under the spotlight? And could their decades-long love story survive the storm? Don't go anywhere, because the story is just getting started. To understand the depth of Kyle's emotion, we need to look back at the connection that defined her and Mauricio for over 27 years. Their love story began in the 90s, long before reality TV fame. Kyle, a single mother trying to find her footing after a difficult first marriage, met a young, ambitious real estate agent named Mauricio Umansky. Their chemistry was instant, their laughter infectious, and their dreams aligned. A chance meeting became a lifelong bond. Fans have followed them through lavish parties, growing businesses, and countless seasons of RHOBH. But like all relationships, theirs wasn't immune to pressure, especially when the cameras never stop rolling. Behind the sparkle of the Bravo universe, Kyle and Mauricio's marriage was being tested by the very fame that made them household names. And then came the signs something wasn't right. Mauricio's quiet demeanor, Kyle's forced smiles, her sudden decision to spend more time away from home, traveling, and focusing on self-growth. Fans noticed, and the speculation grew louder. Was their fairy tale life beginning to fracture? Soon the truth would come into sharp focus. It began subtly, Mauricio missing key family events, Kyle showing up at Bravo panels alone. On screen, she brushed it off with humor. Off-screen, it was clear something deeper was happening. When Mauricio finally opened up during a confessional interview, his words stunned viewers. "We're going through something, and it's been hard, but we still love each other deeply." The world held its breath. What followed was a storm of emotions, confusion, fear, and heartbreak. Kyle's vulnerability on camera, the kind that no amount of editing could soften, left fans shaken. In a show built on drama, this wasn't scripted. This was real. She wasn't just a Bravo star managing a storyline. She was a wife terrified of losing the person who'd stood beside her for nearly 3 decades. As the episode aired, her tearful expression said more than words could. The silence between her and Mauricio at their dinner table, the unspoken tension, told the story of a love under pressure. Behind closed doors, Mauricio's world was shifting too. The stress of his business empire, the agency, the rumors of separation, and the weight of living in the public eye began to take their toll. But what exactly happened when the camera stopped rolling? According to insiders close to the family, Mauricio faced a period of deep emotional exhaustion. The man who once seemed invincible, the confident real estate mogul, the doting father, the supportive husband, was suddenly vulnerable. And for Kyle, who had always been his anchor, this was terrifying. Her on-screen composure hid an off-screen battle, a mix of love, confusion, and fear of what their future might hold. For the first time in her life, Kyle Richards, the woman who'd held her family together through fame, loss, and scrutiny, admitted she didn't know what came next. Then came the breaking point. During the filming of an emotional reunion episode, Kyle opened up about the silent pain she'd been carrying. Her voice trembled as she confessed, "It's been the hardest year of my life. I've cried more than I ever thought I could, and I'm still trying to figure out what my life looks like now." Her honesty hit fans like a wave. In a world that idolizes perfection, Kyle's openness was both shocking and profoundly relatable. She wasn't just talking about her marriage. She was talking about identity, the struggle of a woman who'd built her entire adult life around love, family, and stability, only to watch it all wobble beneath her. At that moment, the audience saw not a reality star, but a human being facing heartbreak head-on. And then, just when it seemed there was no way forward, Mauricio broke his silence. In a rare and emotional Instagram post, Mauricio finally addressed the situation. Gone were the glamorous vacation photos and red carpet smiles. Instead, a single photo, Mauricio holding Kyle's hand, both wearing sullen expressions. The caption read, "I've been quiet because I needed time to understand my own feelings. Life has a way of testing us in ways we never expect. But I want everyone to know, Kyle is my family, my best friend, and the person I'll always love." Within hours, the post went viral. Fans flooded the comments with messages of love and support, while others couldn't help but wonder, was this closure or the beginning of a new chapter? Mauricio went on to explain that after years of nonstop work, fame, and pressure, he'd lost himself. He admitted he'd been struggling mentally, that his drive to succeed had cost him precious moments with his family. "I wasn't present," he wrote, "and when you're not present, even the strongest love can feel distant." It wasn't an apology so much as a reflection, a moment of truth that showed both his vulnerability and his deep affection for Kyle. And for the first time in months, the world saw a glimmer of hope between them. Back in Beverly Hills, Kyle continued filming, juggling her family, her fitness journey, and her evolving identity as a woman rediscovering herself. Gone was the constant dependency on being Mauricio's wife. Instead, she began embracing her independence, her friendships, and even new creative passions. When fans saw her walking red carpets alone or spending more time with her daughters, many assumed the marriage was over. But according to Kyle, it was far more complicated. "We're still a family," she told Andy Cohen. "No matter what happens, that doesn't change." It was clear love hadn't disappeared. It had just shifted. Behind the heartbreak was a shared determination to move forward, whether together or apart, with grace and respect. And through it all, they continued supporting each other's milestones. When Mauricio appeared on Dancing with the Stars, Kyle's presence in the audience, smiling, cheering, spoke volumes. Even in uncertainty, their bond endured. What fans found most moving about this saga wasn't the drama, it was the authenticity. For years, Kyle Richards represented a version of Beverly Hills perfection. Designer outfits, big homes, perfect family, but life had humbled her. Her tears, her quiet moments of strength, and her honesty about pain reminded millions that behind every Instagram post, there's a story we rarely see. She once said in an interview, "I used to think strength was pretending everything was fine. Now I think it's allowing yourself to fall apart and still show up anyway." And maybe that's why her story has resonated so deeply. It isn't just about a reality TV marriage in crisis. It's about what it means to grow, to change, and to face love's most painful tests under the world's brightest lights. As the dust settles, one thing is certain: Mauricio and Kyle's journey is far from over. Whether they find their way back to each other or continue to grow separately, their story has already redefined what resilience looks like in the spotlight. They've shown the world that even the most picture-perfect lives can hide cracks, but they've also shown that honesty, vulnerability, and compassion can turn those cracks into something deeply human. In a world obsessed with image, Kyle and Mauricio have offered something rare, truth. And as fans continue to watch, hoping for their happy ending, one thing is undeniable. Love, even when bruised, still has the power to heal. If you followed Kyle and Mauricio's story from the beginning, this chapter might hurt to watch, but it also reminds us of something universal. That even in heartbreak, there's beauty in honesty. That no matter how public the pain, healing begins in private. And that sometimes the bravest thing you can do is let the world see you cry.